Oh my god, guys, it feels so weird to touch a mouse right now. All right, I am back. Why are you guys doing the voices? What happened in Japan? So, I went to Japan with Neko P because it was our friend's wedding and they were going to get married in a place called Okinawa. Anyway, it's like the Jeju island of Japan, and it's like the beach resort island of Japan. There wasn't necessarily a reason why it had to be like a 3-week holiday. I just like being in Japan for a long time, and I don't think 10 days, like you need at least 10 days in Tokyo if you're a weeb. Which I am. Like, if you like anime, Tokyo alone is gonna be a place you want to spend like at least 10 days in. So for anyone that's looking to go to Japan in the future, like if you cannot take at least 10 days as an otaku or like an anime fan, you're gonna be very unsatisfied. Well, not unsatisfied, you'll still be super happy that you went to Japan. But like 10 days is, I think, is the right amount to at least be in Tokyo. And then there's obviously the rest of Japan that you want to check out as well, which I wanted to do. So that's why we were in Japan for a very, very, very long time. And it means I end up missing out on, you know, precious time with Josephine Joestar, my cat, as well, which was the sad and the downside of being in Japan for so long, is that I'm deprived of being with my precious baby Josephine. And in Japan, what happened? I'm trying to remember what I actually did in Japan. So on the day we landed, so we stayed in a place called Ikebukuro. So in Ikebukuro, you have this place called Sunshine City. You have like so many different streets in Ikebukuro which sell anime goods. They sell loads of different clothes, lots of different collab like characters. Sanrio, you know, there's Otome Street where you can do like thrift shopping for anime goods. Who knows what Sanrio is? So Sanrio is stuff like Hello Kitty, Cinema Roll, Kuromi. It's like all of these character goods that people really, really, really like. And Ikebukuro is just a cool place to stay. It can be a little bit dodgy at night, especially if you're a woman or a girl, because there's like lots of dudes that hang around trying to hit on girls or trying to get them to go into their clubs or host clubs. And there's lots of girls out there standing on the street as well, trying to get you into like their maid or hostess clubs to basically spend money and drink. But that's at night, and that's only if you're going out alone that they might come up to you and start talking to you. Otherwise, Ikebukuro during the day, lunchtime, evening is really, really nice. Really cool place. A lot of young people are there as well. Not that I'm young, but a lot of young people are there. Lots of people go there because it's just a great shopping area, has lots of restaurants. So that's where we were staying. On the first day, as soon as we landed like hella early in the morning. Straight off landing, we had plans to see people. So Neko went to go visit her sister, and during that time I went to go visit a friend called Lena, who is an anime TikToker, content creator, cosplayer extraordinaire. And we went shopping in a place called Nakano Broadway. Nakano Broadway is a place where you can find like lots of like niche anime goods, like very old copies of like, for example, Jump. And then after that, I think we also went to Akihabara. Yeah, so Akihabara is like one of the #1 places to go if you're an otaku as well and you want to do otaku shopping. And I ended up unfortunately buying some One Piece trading cards, which if you follow my journey in Japan last January, I spent an ungodly amount of money getting addicted to One Piece trading cards. And I didn't get anything particularly crazy either, which is a shame. And in these same like shopping areas and like trading card stores, you know, I was looking at the prices of the cards that I was chasing last January, and last January they were like $400 to get like this manga ace card. If you haven't watched One Piece, this might be a bit of a spoiler, like a minor what I'm about to show you might be a minor spoiler, but basically I was chasing this card. Now, I could have bought this card in Japan for like $400. Now, I go back to Japan and I see the price of it in the stores, and now it's basically like $1,200. And I was like, I see. But back then, I didn't have faith that the One Piece card game was gonna take off. Now this card is really difficult to obtain, and the One Piece card game is like exploding. It's so popular right now in English and also in Japanese. So I was like, I kind of messed up there, huh? I really messed up there. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I knew I should have gone with my gut instinct, but I can't be like Fob, guys. I'm not like Fob where I can just sink that much money into buying a singular card. I'm not built like that and just sink that much money into a singular piece of cardboard. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Which was my greatest downfall, because it could have been an investment. But the thing is, it's an investment, but at the same time, the money basically disappears. Because I'm literally never gonna sell the card. I'm buying the card so that I can enjoy owning the card. Like, I'm not buying the card to invest in it and then sell it in the future. That's not, you know, like whenever Fob says that, he's coping. He's literally never gonna sell his cards. We know he's never gonna sell his cards, and I'm the same thing. Like, if I had put $400 in there, that's minus $400 that I'm never getting back. I'm legit never gonna sell it. So, you know, that's why I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But like, yeah, in the future, I can imagine that Manga Ace card is probably going to go for like 5 digits, like easily going to go for 5 digits. Like, especially when One Piece ends, I expect the One Piece card game to like fully explode and certain cards to be worth like very, very, very large sums of money. Because One Piece is such a big thing. Like, globally, it's such a big thing. So like, I genuinely would not be surprised if like certain cards start selling for like 5 digits, if not 6 digits. So if you really wanted to invest and you're willing to hold off, you know, maybe 10, 20, 30 years for an investment in a piece of cardboard, then I do believe that One Piece, and I'm not a professional investor, guys, but I am of firm belief that One Piece cards are actually a solid investment right now if you do want to put your money somewhere. And they're still increasing in price as we speak, which is, you know, which is kind of crazy. And like the main one to go for is like the Gear 5 Luffy card, but that's just my perspective on things. So that's day one. I ended up buying some boxes in the hopes of actually getting a card for myself, because the other thing about trading cards is it really my card if I'm buying someone else's card that they've packed? It doesn't matter if they packed it fresh. That's still like a second-hand card. That's not my baby. I didn't birth that card. I didn't pack that card myself. You know, someone else's grubby hands have touched that card. You know, so it's not the same thing. Like, all of Fob's cards are now like second, third, fourth, fifth hand cards. They're not the same. Like, I didn't birth that card. It's not the same thing. You know, it's not my child. I want to be the one that packs that card and have that feeling of packing that card. The problem is I've not successfully been able to pack any of these cards. It's a bit of a struggle. It's a bit of a struggle, and I have spent a lot of money on these cards that I haven't freshly packed. Now, I have done that for Pokemon, but Pokemon card investments I think are a little bit copium. Although they're an investment. They are an investment, guys. I will sell them in the future. Hopefully Pokemon never dies. And I will always be able to look at my Pokemon cards and be like, hell yeah, I'm going to be able to make some money back from this in the future. Not copium. Anyway, so that's how I feel about cards. We also ended up spending on gacha as well. Like the actual gachapon machines. So for those of you who don't know where gacha actually spawned from, they're like, it's not necessarily like slot machines, but like you put in coins. And if you're in Asia, you would have seen this. You basically put in coins to these gashapon machines. You get capsules in them. So there's a bunch of capsules in them, and you can get like little figurines in here, or like little trinkets, or little like pieces of whatever, badges, pins, anything. And you put in a coin, or you put in money, and then you turn the handle, you get a capsule, you open the capsule, you get what you want. So this is what gachapon is actually called in Japan, and this is where gacha comes from. It's basically gambling. We all know what it is. And in Japan, when you go to certain places, there are places where there's like machines lined up, like a non-stop, right? And there's like Pokemon, there's Digimon, there's Gundam, there's JJK, there's K-pop, there's BTS, there's like Japanese pop bands, there's Winnie the Pooh, there's all kinds of things you can get. Cats, pandas, like food. It's like everything. You can literally get everything. And what we were looking for was free run ones. So Sorcerer no free run ones, because we both really like free run, and we ended up finding a free run machine, and Lena like wailed on that stuff because she really wanted free run or Fern or like any of the characters she wanted, and she kept putting in 300 yen, 300 yen, 300 yen, 300 yen, like non-stop. And 300 yen is like $2. So like Japanese yen right now is so cheap, guys. It's so unbelievably cheap right now. It's like everything is almost half price what it would cost in the UK. So 100 yen right now in UK money, 100 yen in GBP, is currently 52 pence, 66 cents. It is unbelievably cheap to spend money in Japan right now. For context, like if I was to buy a bottle of water from like a vending machine in the UK, it would cost me like £1.80. £1.80. In Japan, it would cost me like 70p. It's less than half price. Koko Ichibanya, which is like a really popular curry chain, Japanese curry chain. A normal Koko Ichibanya curry in the UK, let's take for example, would cost like £17 in the UK. And in America, it would cost you like over $20, including like tip. In Japan, the curry that I had with extra toppings and extra rice, it cost me $9. $9 US. And it really made me think, wow, it would be amazing to live in Japan. It's cheaper for me to go out and eat at a restaurant in Japan like twice than to have like a singular delivery takeaway in the UK. And I was just like, it's so everything's so cheap in Japan. You still can. Moving to Japan is still a very difficult process, guys, especially when you have a pet. It makes things really complicated. Also, we have no money because we literally just bought this home, so I have no money. And again, like the reason why I went to Japan was because of a wedding, and I think just the flight tickets alone cost us like close to $5,000 because the prices were so inflated. Because when you go in March to April, it's Sakura season, which is where everyone wants to take really pretty photos and they want to go to parks and stuff because all the cherry blossoms are blooming. So you can see in the background like the sakura, but that's not a great photo. So it's like really pretty. My wife is really pretty. And obviously with the flowers, it makes things even prettier. But that's why like loads of people want to go to Japan during this time. But yeah, this is like a close-up of the flowers. Like in full bloom, they're gorgeous. And we didn't even see the full bloom. We saw like 80% bloom maybe. The park we went to, no matter where you turned around, it was just gorgeous. It looked like paradise. The weather was rubbish. It wasn't rubbish. It wasn't great though. The weather wasn't great, but it still looked gorgeous. So that wasn't day one. But day one was basically I hung out with Lena. Then after that, we joined up to have dinner with Saki and Neko as well. And I think for dinner, we had tonkatsu and it was really delicious as well. Day two, I don't remember, but we did watch the Haikyuu movie because they had English subtitles screening. And the Haikyuu movie, if you've read the manga, you know, you might be a little bit disappointed with the Haikyuu movie because they definitely cut out a lot from the movie, I felt like. But like, if you haven't watched or if you haven't read the manga, then I think you will really enjoy the movie. But it was really fast. Like the pacing went really quickly. And I felt like, this doesn't, something feels off. But it did focus on some of my favorite characters, which were Kenma and Kuro. But yeah, like flashbacks, I felt like maybe were a little bit rushed. Dialogue, I felt like was removed. And like people's like thought process in, you know, the decisions they make on the court, maybe removed as well. Like some highlight moments, maybe for some other characters, maybe removed. But I don't actually remember the manga fully, so I can't comment. I just felt like it went really quickly. Because like what should have been, I think at least like 12 episodes worth probably was cut down into like 1.5 hours. Anyway, Japan, TLDR. So we went for a wedding and the wedding was on an island called Okinawa. So what was the problem? Well, originally when we had booked our flights and our dates, it was forecasted to be great weather. So normally if you're going to a beach island, the weather is either extremely good or extremely bad. Now, when it got closer and closer to the date that we were going to fly to Okinawa, when it got closer to the date, turns out the weather was going to be raining every single day, including for the weather. Then what happened was we landed with the forecast saying it's going to rain every day. Day one didn't actually rain. Pretty good weather. Day two didn't actually rain and also pretty good weather. Day three, the day of the wedding. And bear in mind as well, the friends that I went to was a Christian wedding. So they prayed like every day to God for better weather. And it was going to be like a beautiful church chapel kind of thing. bear in mind, it was forecasted for bad weather throughout our entire duration, but actually, great weather day 1, great weather day 2. Day 3. The worst lightning storm I have seen since I went to the Philippines. Non-stop lightning, like actual lightning, flashes every single 5 minutes. Flash! And then like 10 seconds later, a massive roar of thunderclap. And the rain would not stop pouring. The water was like, you could see it just streaming down the roads. The wind was insane. It was actually like Raiden had descended on the island. And the thing was, to get to the chapel itself, you had to walk there in lightning, thunderstorm, and I got freaking drenched. Neko got drenched. And we had to like tug like massive luggage as well to get to the hotel. And then from the hotel, we then have to walk. So we walked to the hotel we had to go to in this lightning storm with umbrellas. And I was like shitting myself because there's so much lightning going on. I'm like, oh my God, I'm walking in lightning with an umbrella right now. There is a good chance I'm gonna be struck. This could be the day I die. It could be the day I die, and there's still so much left to do in life. There's still so much that needs to be spoken. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be over. And we get to the hotel, we leave our luggage, and then we then have to go to the chapel in the rain. And I get absolutely drenched. My fancy shoes get drenched. My trousers get drenched. My clothes get drenched. We get to the wedding, and it's all well and good. But the thing is, I'm wearing all black, guys. I'm like wearing all black formal clothes, but all black. And like the dress code was to wear like Hawaiian clothing or like beach clothing, because, you know, it's like meant to be like a beach style wedding. And I see a lot of people also wore suits or formal clothing, but I also see a lot of people, my friends in particular, wearing beach clothing. And I'm like, huh, I do kind of look like the odd one out here. I look like the odd one out here, and I kind of want to, you know, match with my friends and not look like I'm being a hater. So, my friend who is really skinny, my friend who is super skinny is like,
oh, Atsu, I actually have a spare shirt with me that you can borrow so that we can match.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. And then he shows me the picture of the shirt, color scheme wise. I'm like, oh, I actually really like the color scheme of this shirt. So, okay, whatever, I'll wear it. I'll wear it. But little did I know how skinny my friend is. Because he's taller than me, and he doesn't look that skinny, but he is actually really skinny. So I go and wear his shirt. Now, this is my friend, guys. This is my friend. See, he doesn't look that skinny, right? Well, now I look at his arm, he's quite skinny. Now, look how his shirt looks on me. Do you see that? Do you see that? The buttons are fighting for their life. Yeah, I've been to the gym, guys. And I've been specifically targeting my chest and working on my chest. But like, what is going on here? Like, hello? Like, what is going on here? Like, what am I looking at here? Like, what is going on here? I mean, I got the booba, guys. And, you know, my chest is starting to grow and it's starting to become a little bit toned, but they're not that big. And then I realized, oh my God, how skinny is my friend? And all my friends were laughing, and I did not know why they were laughing. Because obviously I can't see my own chest. Like, I'm not gonna look down and see that my own chest is like unbuttoned. I didn't know how hard this shirt was fighting for its life. Because like the collar wasn't tight. The actual thing wasn't tight either. Like you can see it's not tight to my body here. And there's still like room for some air to breathe. But man. And like everyone was laughing. I was like, why are you guys laughing? What's so funny? You know, what's so funny? And it turns out it's because I had like a booba window going on. But yeah, anyway, I ended up covering that shirt and going back to my old shirt to take the photos. I went back to take my old shirt so I wouldn't look stupid in the photos and it wouldn't be like I'm flashing people. So yeah, we were able to get around that, kind of. Someone said Clorinde cosplay. Shut up. Now you know how all the sexy characters feel. I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. I did not feel sexy in that at all. I did not feel attractive in that shirt whatsoever. In fact, I felt the complete opposite. I felt gross. Is 230 wishes enough for Nuvile and Caesar or R1 Arlecchino? If you believe, and you believe hard enough, as long as you believe, anything is possible. Because you could do one multi and you could get Nuvile, and then you could do a back-to-back. And guess what? You could get the next 5-star character back-to-back. And then you do another multi, and you could get another back-to-back. You know, you have to manifest your own good luck. Because it's winnable. It's definitely winnable. You could be that guy. So you don't ask, is this enough pulls? You tell yourself, this is enough pulls.